Hello, everyone, and welcome to our virtual celebration for the week of September 5th, 2001. This week, on September 6th, is the beginning of Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. So a very happy New Year's to all of you. I also want to give a very special shout out to Erica and Connor, who got married September 4th to Lee Coulter's song, People Like You. We're just so happy for you, Erica and Connor. We wish you every blessing, every good thing. And I'm just thrilled that we get to give shout outs and celebrations to other people. So for everyone else, if you have an important anniversary or special event coming up, let us know. We'd love to take it in prayer and hold it in that celebration. And again, for you, Erica, and you, Connor, know that in our live service, which will be on September 5th, we will be celebrating you and just holding you in consciousness then. Also, our music director, Lee Coulter, is our special music today. So again, thank you for being here. Settle in, and off we go.
Maybe one man in the microphone, but I didn't get here on my own. Mama told me my first song, and brother let me sing along when they didn't have to. We hear it every day, this world has gone astray. They wanna be the first to tell you it's getting worse. What they don't tell you. There's people coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do. You keep on coming through. Hey. When you feel like you can't cope and you're at the end of the rope, just leave your heart wide open. You start to feel that hope. Come on through. Think about how far we've come, the impossible we've done. Compassion, innovation, through every generation. There's people coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do. You keep on coming through. Yeah, you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm singing you. Hey you. Thank you. Yeah. To the teachers and creators, to the givers and caretakers, enterprises, 9-to-5ers, we're all just earth survivors. And I feel alive. To everyone who helped me along, who listened to my song, who made these strings I strum, and who made this microphone. Well, I know who. It's those people coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do. You keep on coming through. People coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do. You keep on coming through. Yeah, you. Thank you. You. Hey you. Thank you. Yeah. People coming through. People like you. People coming through. People like you.
I have always known that at last I would take this road, but I did not know yesterday that it would be today. You know, last week I shared that poem from Nahahiri, the 8th century Japanese poet. And I must tell you, it's kind of becoming the mantra of my life. Because if you think about it, it changes the story that we are telling ourselves. I always know that I would take this road to health, but I did not know yesterday it would be today. I've always known that I would take this road of prosperity, but I did not know yesterday it would be today. I have always known that I would take this road of love, but I did not know yesterday that it would be today. And so what is the road that you knew, that you know now, that you were always going to take? And today is the day. You know, it sort of reminds me of the beginning of The Hobbit, where Bilbo Baggins he's hurrying to join. He had no idea he was going to start in some great adventure. And yet, behold, there he was. And it was in that day. And we always kind of forget something. In his case, it was a handkerchief. But as we travel along the road, what we realize is that we are sourced and supported. And so it doesn't matter what story we say, if we're ready or not ready, or just one more thing, or let me do that, or whatever the case may be. This is the moment that we fully engage in life. As I mentioned at the beginning of the celebration, this week begins Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. And the theme is kind of always the same. It has to do with two components, which really become one. The first is to return. In fact, in many tables this week, as people are toasting and celebrating, one of the things that they will say is, next year, Jerusalem. To return to the roots, to return to the very essence of what is. To change direction. And then the second part of it is this, renewal. It's the beginning of a new year. And it's interesting that it begins this time of year, right? Summer is ending. The harvest is in. And the thoughts are what seeds to plant for the following year. And so it feels appropriate for us to follow sort of this sort of calendar. We did that last year. Our whole theme last year was we make the path by walking. We started that because we were in unprecedented times where every week it was something new, and it still is. And we're still doing that. But we had a monthly theme of the path of abundance, the path of love, the path of joy, the path of living our full experience. And this year, it's going to be chop wood, carry water. Really what that means is finding spiritual fulfillment in everyday things. Because I don't know about you, but for myself, I'm always looking for the great experience, right? The voice from the clouds, the thing that just brings me and stops me in my track. You know, again, kind of going back to the poem, you know, always knew I was going to take this road, but, you know, I was kind of waiting for a sign. Except the sign is in the everyday experiences that we have. The practice is to find the divine in and through and as all things. Craig Losey, one of our practitioners for our live celebration, shared this poem by Kabir. Are you looking for me? I am in the next seat. My shoulder is against yours. You will not find me in the stupas, not in Indian shrine rooms, nor in synagogues, nor in cathedrals, not in masses, nor kirtans, not in legs winding round your own neck, nor in eating nothing but vegetables. When you really look for me, you will see me instantly. You will find me in the tiniest house of time. Kabir says, "Student, tell me, what is God?" He is the breath inside the breath. That true self that inner experience, that inner dimension that is alive within each and every one of us. And so, what are we returning to? We're returning to the breath inside the breath, to the divine essence that is the truth of who we are. We are turning around. We are turning from the fear, the anxiety, the expectation, any of those kinds of things that distract us. We're turning away from them and returning to this. And what are we renewing? Every aspect of our life. We are finding spiritual fulfillment in all the things that we do, in everyday things. You know, the founder of our particular denomination, Ernest Holmes, says this: "The world is saturated with divinity, immersed in reality, and filled with possibility. We must take this divine possibility and mold it into present actuality in everyday experience. This is the way to freedom, the pathway to peace and happiness." And so the path to freedom, to peace, to happiness is chop wood, carry water. You know, that comes from that old Zen koan. What do you do after you're enlightened? You go back to what you're doing. You find fulfillment in what is there in front of you. That doesn't mean that we're not guided to the next thing, but you know, something that one of the early New Thought mystics, Emma Curtis Hopkins, would say is, instead of just sort of dropping everything and telling God to act, we stay engaged in what we're doing and we're lifted out. We are guided by a vision, and not, as Michael Beckwith said, being pushed by the conditions, but allowing ourselves to be open to that presence that is luring us, to drawing us, to inviting us to take the next indicated step. And where is it? It's right here. We're on the road already. So, you know, as a practice, how do we do this? For me, what I want to offer you is we do this by making our life a prayer. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great poet and philosopher, says, every thought is a prayer, every word is a prayer, and every prayer is answered. Because we're not petitioning to God to change, but we're changing within ourselves. The very intention of our prayer is the very direction that our attention shifts to. And so our attention is always to finding the divine in all things and in everybody. And then to respond appropriately, which is in that sense of reverence, of amazement, of awe, of wonder. Imagine if you lived your life in amazement. I think this is what Jesus meant when he said, be like little children. Be willing to be surprised. Be willing to step out of a narrative. Be open to looking at everything with new eyes. In fact, I would invite you right now to say to yourself, quietly if you're with people, but speak it out loud if you're not, this statement, this mantra, this teaching, which is, I am open to looking at the world with new eyes. I am open to looking at the world with new eyes. This new perception where I'm seeing a God-drenched universe and I'm seeing myself as part of that experience. And that brings us to the natural conclusion or the natural response to that. What is the natural response to being filled with this sense of amazement and wonder? It's to participate, to be engaged, to get into the game. And how do we do that? We do that through service. You know, Rabindranath Tagore, the great Indian poet and philosopher, says it this way. There is only one caste, the caste of humanity. There is only one religion, the religion of love. There is only one commandment, the commandment of truthfulness. There is only one law, the law of cause and effect. There is only one God, the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient Lord. There is only one language, the language of the heart, or the language of silence. I slept and dreamt that life was a joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. Service is joy. Happiness comes as a byproduct of being engaged in something where we feel that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We do that by, as we've talked about for the last couple months, by bringing the very best of ourselves to the game, by allowing ourselves to make this path by walking, but now to chop wood, to carry water with great intention, with great joy. Think of those times when you are most happy. It is a byproduct of being engaged in something in which you fully believe in. And right now, service to your family, service to the work that you do, service to your own self, your own experience, that gives us the opportunity to walk in joy. And I want to offer this as a prayer, as a thought, as a contemplation, as a practice, and as a tool. And it comes from this first century wild Palestinian teacher and healer that you hear me talk about often. And when his followers, his disciples, his students said, "Rabbi, how do we pray?" He gave this beautiful prayer of just being open to the divinity and the wonder and the amazement of all things. And just aligning ourselves with this great arc of awakening, of intelligence, of how the very cosmos itself is moving to a greater sense of complexity, congruency, and consciousness, this great spiritual awakening, and wanting to serve and wanting to be part of that. And then he goes on and he says this, ask for what you want. Give us this day. And in the Aramaic of which he spoke and the Greek that it was written, that idea, give us this day our daily bread, give us this day our substance, is spoken as a child is asking its parent, give me breakfast, give me lunch, give me what I need. The child asks with expectancy. And so give us this day and forgive us our debts. Debt is bondage. Whatever we are indebted to, we are in bondage to. So forgive us our debts as we forgive those who are indebted to us. And so it all comes down to this, right? You understand this, you get this. Give us this day what we need. And forgive us our trespasses, our debts, our errors, as we are willing to forgive others. And that is our practice. That is our life. And so this month we're on Lean on Me, which you're going to hear from Lee in just a few moments. That sense of if someone needs something, we're open to give. We're open to be there. We're willing to be of service because we know there may be a moment where we ourselves are going to need. And so we want to be like that child. We want to be like that family member. We want to be like that tribe. We want to be like that person that is connected, that gives and receives and gives, chops wood and carries water. Thank you very much.
Hi, and welcome to Hilltop's virtual Sunday service. My name is Lee Coulter. I'm the music director at Hilltop. And this month's musical theme is Lean on Me. It's a classic song that we all know, and it's tried and tested, but I just feel like it's kind of before its time as far as the need for vulnerability, the need for openness, reaching out for help, and being there for others at the same time. So I wanted to play this song for you today, and in a raw setting. I've got none of my fancy microphones, just the iPhone, and my couch in my living room, and it's because the theme of this year is kind of chopping wood and carrying water, the magic in the mundane. So hopefully we find some of that here today, and in your lives as well. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if you have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Just call on me, brother, if you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, sister, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load that you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Call me, call me when you need a friend. Call me.
I'm always so amazed and grateful for your generosity. Thank you, because your financial gifts allow this virtual celebration to be produced. It allows our live service to be going on, and all the things that we do at the Hilltop Center as far as how we contribute to our community, how we are working with others in making this world a better place. You are part of that team. We're grateful for you. So thank you once again. And to you, my friends, to those whom you love and those whom you receive love from, I wish you many blessings.